We are in the circle, NorthJerseySports.com's original multimedia series talking all things softball across North Jersey. This is Season 6, Episode 4, and it has been a while between sips here as the softball season has gotten away from us a little bit. I am Corey Doviak, being joined by my illustrious panel of one, our North Jersey softball insider, the ballgame, Richie Ballgame Barton. What's going on, Richie B?
Not much. We're getting into crunch time. County tournaments are all over. An exciting finish in the Bergen County final, and now we're on the section finals.
Yes. Now, we have to explain our absence in some type of, cohesive manner here because, we try. We try to line up guests. We try to cover games. We try to talk about games. We try to get all this stuff done, but then the weather jumps in. And then it's Memorial Day weekend. And who are you getting as a guest on Memorial Day weekend? And it's who wants to read about high school sports on Memorial Day weekend anyway? All these things come into play. And then we thought today, Richie B, as we tape this here on Tuesday afternoon, Tuesday evening, we thought that we would have games to cover right about today, games to talk about tomorrow. Again, tornado warnings in North Jersey. So we have to, we moved up the scheduled date of In the Circle. We are doing it tonight. Tomorrow we will cover games. We got section finals going on. So there'll be some champions crowned tomorrow. But Richie B, we're going to talk a little state tournament first because with our guest this evening, we're going to wrap up everything that happened in the Bergen County tournament, which was the first ever Bergen County tournament championship for Northern Valley Old Tappan Regional High School and for its head coach, Melissa Landeck. She has won numerous titles of all types in volleyball, overall state championships, tournament of champions championships, and she's won section titles in softball. But a first, well, let's not go into it too deeply here because we're going to have her on soon. But, you were on the Bergen County softball tournament beat for the last month. So give us a quick synopsis of what went on over there.
A quick synopsis of what went on. It was the craziest tournament in the history of the tournament. The first 9 seed ever to win. You had upsets galore, great games all over the place. It was really a fun tournament to be right in the middle of. Yeah, and once Bergen Tech knocked out IHA in the round of 16, was it? Yes.
It went haywire from there, and it made it fun because, we said it after that happened. You didn't know who was going to win, and I'd like to meet the guy who had Old Tappan as the champion in his bracket, right?
That's true. But yeah, you're right, because remember what we talked about? We talked about that it was a 3-horse race going into the tournament. IHA, Ramsey, and Immaculate Conception. And then when IHA gets knocked off, it kind of not only, broadened the tournament, so to speak, but it also gave these other teams like, hey, we can do this.
Yep.
Old Tappan beat Pasco Hills, the 24 seed in the first round, 2-0. Pasco Hills is a tough team, and that was not an easy game for them. And, and next thing you know, they just, win and they won it in fun ways, and we'll go into that later, but let's see some section final stuff here.
Yeah, we're going to start. We'll start with the section tournament. Let me just remind everyone that In the Circle here on NorthJerseySports.com appreciates the sponsorship of our title sponsor, our lead sponsor, our anchor sponsor for In the Circle, which is All Stars, the practice facility in Lodi. The ultimate batting and bullpen sessions. You can book your stuff online there at All Stars with a Z Practice. Our friend Leslie Corci Valenti. Get some lessons. Get better in softball. Come on. All Stars supports us. Let's all, as a NorthJerseySports.com community, support All Stars. Thank you, All Stars Practice Facility. All right, so here we go, Richie B. State sectional final softball. as it pertains to the NorthJerseySports.com coverage area, is crazy because the Bergen County tournament has spread everywhere. Now, yes, you do have your 1 versus 2 matchup in North 1, Group 1. You have number 1 Cedar Grove will host number 2 Hasbrouck Heights on Wednesday afternoon. That's fine and dandy. You know, hey, 2 best teams, it's chalk, it's blah, blah, blah. Try to find another one. North 1, Group 2, top-seeded and defending champion Ramsey against Lenape Valley, the number 6 seed, which beat number 3 Mawa in the quarterfinals. You got number 8 West Milford, which went through number 1 Ramapo in the quarterfinals. And they'll play West Essex. So West Essex, the number 7 seed, with a home game in the section final. And then in North 1 Group 4, you have Mount Olive, the number 5 seed, with a home game against number 6 Bergen Tech. And Bergen Tech just loves upsetting people in playoff softball.
Boy, do they!
Yeah.
I mean, they've been quite a story. I mean, you know, and there are different people doing it. Whether it's Casey Calabrese in the circle or that in the lineup, but Ashley O'Hagan, a freshman, has come on for them. Francesco Rito. I mean, Isaiah Christmas behind the plate with a hand cannon back there, and has come up with some big hits. It just seems with that team that it's somebody, with each passing win they get, it's somebody different just stepping up when they needed to. And I mean, they're going to have their hands full against the Mount Olive team that lost the Morris County final on a 3-run walk-off homer. So they're going to be chomping at the bit to win a championship on their home field. But, I mean, let's face it, Bergen Tech is a live dog. I mean, they put you this, they were up on Old Japan. Old Japan in the Bergen County tournament. They were beat them through 5 innings in the quarterfinals. So, anything can happen on any given day, and Bergen Tech certainly has nothing to lose to succeed.
Yes, no, it's certainly true. All right, let's go through these other. Well, I should mention too. Let's get to the non-publics. Now, the non-publics are in a semifinal round because the brackets are smaller. So, in non-public North A, you have number 1 IHA against number 4 Holy Angels. That game was scheduled for today, Tuesday. Again, weather pushed it back a day. That's the 1-4 game. And on the other side of the bracket, you have number 2 Mount St. Dominic's is going to host number 6 Pope John. So. Still the semifinals in go ahead. Yeah, I mean, non-public,
it's IHA, Mount St. Dominic.
Yeah.
Pretty much every year. I mean, one is going to have to go through the other to get to the title. IHA is certainly a team that, kind of cruised along the season, then got punched in the mouth with the loss to Bergen Tech, but they responded, and it looks like they're back to top form, and they're doing it at the right time.
Yep, and it is IHA Mount St. Dominic in perpetuity, it seems like, in non-public A. Non-public B in the North, number 1 Immaculate Conception has already won its way into the section final, and the Blue Wolves will play the winner of number 3 Morris Catholic, who will visit number 2 Benedictine tomorrow, Wednesday. Now, you threw out that nice little stat against Mount Olive. Mount Olive lost on a walk-off Morris County final, all that stuff. I mean, that's an obscure piece of knowledge for you to have, being that we don't cover Morris County. But give me something, Richie B, about the number 2 seed in non-public North B, Benedictine. Where is it?
Let me tell you something. Benedictine is Union County. Benedictine also not a slouch team. In years past, this section was, H could have named the score, even in a section final.
Right.
Virtually. Benedictine is again, not a slouch, and they're going to give IC a run. I think IC is another team, though, that is just, they're seething after the loss to Ramsey in the Bergen County semifinals, and this is a team that's got back-to-back finals of the Tournament of Champions,
right,
and pretty much the whole team's back. So this is, the section title, I think they feel is almost like a stepping stone, but you can't step too far ahead in the state tournament. But will they take Benedictine as seriously as they need to? If they do, they should win this game relatively handily, but again, you never know on any given day.
I don't think you really told me anything about Benedictine. I think you kind of talked around it. You said
Benedictine is a pretty decent team that could put a scare in the IC. How about that?
Okay, I'll take it. And yeah, I mean, talk about following the pattern. IC lose to Ramsey 2 straight years in the Bergen County tournament, bounce back to win section titles and get to the final of the Tournament of Champions. We'll see if those things repeat themselves again, but they're certainly in line to do that. Let's talk about what we have now left on the public side. I mean, we talked about Bergen Tech, Mount Olive, but let's start with the Group 1s, and I again defer to you because you have seen Hasbrouck Heights twice this year. This is the best year for Hasbrouck Heights softball since we've been running NorthJerseySports.com over the last 20 years. So whatever happens from here on out, them getting to a section final, being a dangerous team in the Bergen County tournament, all of that stuff. But the ultimate would be to cap it off with a win over the top seed on the road at Cedar Grove. They have a shot?
Do they have a shot? Yes, but a lot of things have to break right. I mean, Cedar Grove has, as hard of a throwing pitcher as there is in the state in Marietta, and
who's been in high school for 10 years.
Right. I think you literally stole my exact line. That's impressive.
She was a NorthJerseySports.com Athlete of the Week when we used to do that. I think 5 years ago.
Yeah, pretty much. She may be 25. I have no idea. No,
has anybody seen awesome. Matt Small, by the way?
She's awesome, and she could single-handedly, win a game by herself. And for Hasbrouck Heights, the top of the order is really the meat of their order, as it is at most teams. You have Kimmy Halpin at the top, 2 really good athletes, Marinelli, Alexa Marinelli, Julia Campen, 3 big bats right in the middle of the lineup. But against a guy like Fayette, who does not give up a lot of hits in a row, they're going to have to get you're either going to have to scratch some runs across and really manufacture them, or they're going to have to get some production out of the bottom of that lineup. And I hope that's enough.
Yeah, I mean, when you get deep into the state tournament in playoff softball, it often comes down to one run, one play here or there. I mean, not that doesn't happen all season, but the third baseman is always key in a state playoff game, moving runners over, and that's what Heights is going to have to do, get somebody on and play old school, like play for one run, try to get a lead, get out in front, get a runner, get a leadoff hitter on, bunter, maybe even 2 bases, and then hope for a pass ball or a 2-out clutch base hit or something like that. But we've seen crazier things than that happen. That happened. That brings us to North 1 Group 2 here, and you talk about a team that's going to be spitting fire. Ramsey was the 2-time defending Bergen County Tournament softball champion, lost its title this year against Old Tappan, and again, we're going to talk about it shortly with Old Tappan head coach Melissa Landeck. But Richie B, Ramsey and the notoriously competitive and very athletic Sebastian family. They're going to be certainly loaded for bear in this North 1 Group 2 state sectional final on Wednesday at the Tisdale School in Ramsey.
They're going to be angry. And they're going to need to be because, again, they're also facing one of the better pitchers in the state, sophomore Alexis Flacantina of Lenape Valley, who is already committed to the University of Kentucky. This is a rematch of the section final last year, and Ramsey was able to knock her around a little bit. But, she's improved. Ramsey is kind of like a wounded animal right now. I think them getting a couple of runs early, or even just hitting the ball hard early, just to kind of, get back in that flow is going to be big for them because the loss in the Bergen County final was certainly an emotional one, but, they're playing for a section title. You got to be able to, put that behind you and move forward because there's still a lot left to play for them.
Well, I don't want to, put the kibosh or the jinx or I don't even really want to bring this up, Richie B, but our friend Kevin Sabella, correct?
I do.
He is nicknamed the Maven. He's a co-host here on It's Hockey Night on NorthJerseySports.com. He's a good friend. I mean, I've known him for 20 years. Back when he used to coach the boys soccer team at Riverdale High School is when I first met him. That was 100 years ago, but he and congratulations to him. His sources gave us the scoop that he accepted the position as the athletic director at Ramsey high school, the lineage continues of the great athletic directors that they have had there, Lou Merlino, then the late Jim Grasso, and now Kevin is going to take over that job. But, since officially being named, and I know he doesn't officially start until July 1st, but Richie B., they lost the Bergen County final in really, a day or two after he was named the athletic director. Not a great start.
I mean, you can't really put that on the team, and you can't put it on Chris Caserta.
Yeah.
Old Japan played great.
Right.
But, Sabella, what did he really bring to the table? And that's
That's the question.
Listen, we're friends with the guy. We've been wondering for years.
Love him.
What does he bring? Love him. Great guy. What does he bring to the table? He brings a lot of laps.
Yeah.
And, but that's, listen, it begins and ends there with that guy. I don't know what else to tell you.
Yeah. No, all kidding aside, congratulations, Kevin Sabella. He's going to be a great athletic director at Ramsey High School. And I'll tell you what he does bring. He brings a variety of sunflower seeds to the state finals down at Kane University. Yes. So
wide variety. I would also get like some sort of long sleeve Ramsey shirt out of this, but we'll see what happens.
No, it's true. I got no Ramsey swag. It's very true.
Not one.
No, and I like Rams. I mean, I like a Ram.
All right, we're getting way off base now. let's go to North One Group 3. All
right, in the game as of right now, as we tape this on Tuesday evening, this is the game that you say you are covering on Wednesday afternoon. So,
right.
I saw West Milford in their opening round win over Riverdale. I drove out there. I made the trip, and I watched the game. I didn't write a story on it because I was doing some other things. But West Milford, awfully impressive. And, again, another team that lost in the county championship, and maybe a team that probably, again, anything can happen in a one-off game. But, West Milford was certainly after DePaul went out and Passaic Valley went out. I mean, West Milford was probably the favorite to win in Passaic County and lost to Passaic Tech. So they have responded brilliantly by knocking off number one Ramapo and now find themselves in the final on the road against West Essex.
Yeah, Jess Perucci. I mean, she's a hard throw in the circle, and with West Milford, the bats, they've had a capable lineup all year, and it's been a bit spotty, but it seems they're putting it together all at the right time. Natalie Marzalek, I think she had 3 hits and 3 runs in the win over Paramus. In the semifinals. I mean, this is their time. I mean, this is a team that has been salivating for a shot to be a championship team, and they've been so close in the county. I think to get it in this section, which has been, a wild section. I mean, we talked about before the tournament, you and I privately, about how the bottom half of the tournament, the bottom half of the bracket was just so crazy, and
yep.
from 7th seed West Essex to get out of it, I mean, they won 3 one-run games. They beat Teaneck, I think it was 4-3, Passaic Valley 5-4, and then Indian Hill 6-5. So, I mean, as far as they're concerned, they're going to beat West Milford 7-6. But right. I don't think it's going to be that high scoring of a game. If Perucci's on, it's going to be a tough one for West Essex. But, with head coach Andrew Mondadori, they're going to battle. They're going to find out at bats. And they always seem to be in the mix come the 6th, 7th inning. But I think it's going to be a great game. I think it's going to be the best one of the day. And that's why Richie Ball game will be there.
A little bit of a shocker. West Milford 11, Paramus 0 in the semifinals. I mean, not that West Milford, won on the road at Paramus, but 11-0. I mean, Paramus was good. It was another team that Old Japan had to get through.
Yeah.
I saw Paramus against beat Ramapo earlier in the season. So
yeah, but that's the thing about Perucci is that when she gets a hit of hitters, she gets outs.
Yep.
She is not the type of pitcher to be, to make a mistake when she's ahead 1-2. But when she's behind hitters, then, she starts to catch the middle of the plate more, and those balls get easier to hit.
Yes. All right, Richie B. Well, that is a look ahead at the state sectional finals for softball. which will take place on Wednesday afternoon. But now we are going to look back at a historic run through the Bergen County Softball Tournament by my hometown team, Richie B. Joining us on the All-Stars Hotline, she is the head coach of the Northern Valley Regional Fightin' Golden Knights, Melissa Landeck. Coach, thanks for joining us here on In the Circle.
Thank you for having me.
It is our pleasure, and listen, I'm like a fanboy here because I'm a resident of the Northern Valley, and my hometown team won the Bergen County Softball Championship. I don't want to say it was out of nowhere, but kind of out of nowhere. Coach Landeck, what the heck happened in the last month?
The Golden Knights just got hot at the right time. Played some really good softball in the last couple weeks of the season, and I think that's what every coach hopes for at tournament time.
Yes, and Richie B was there to document every step of the way and even earned the nickname. He is the walking hashtag. He is hashtag good luck charm. Richie B. Never have the words good luck charm and Richie B been used in the same sentence before. But go ahead, Richie.
It was... as I said earlier in the podcast, it's a great run. It started with a win over Pasco Hills. That was not a layup. That was a tough game. And then...
Not at all. That was a tough game for us. They're a well-coached team, and, it was a close game the whole way.
And then, next thing you know, Bergen Tech knocks off IHA, and did you kind of feel like, all right, this bracket's opening up, especially on the top half. We really have a chance to make some noise here.
Absolutely. It was a crazy week because of the way everything played out with the rain out on Sunday. We were supposed to have that that next round at a neutral site, but it was a washout, so we had to go to the higher seed, which was Paramus for us in that 8-9 game. And that was playing them a third time because they're in our league. So, that was a tough matchup for us. And, they're another well-coached team and a great program. So, we had a work cut out for us there. And we were on the bus ride back after winning on the road at Paramus when we heard IHA and Bergen Tech were in extra innings, and, thanks to the powers of social media, the kids were finding all kinds of updates as we were on that bus ride home. And before we pulled into the Old Japan parking lot, we knew our next opponent was Bergen Tech, not IHA.
Yeah, Richie, you continue because I want to do the overview of it, from the Old Japan perspective. But you can continue down the trail with the tournament itself.
Well, before that, going back to the Paramus game, I really thought the key was how you battled during at-bats, because the first time through the order in that game, not terrific at-bats, we'll say. But they got better as the game went on. You were more patient, and when you were more patient at the plate, you really saw the type of swings that you were getting, and it led to late runs pretty much in every game that you played from there on out.
Yeah, and that's just something, that we tried to stress and talk about, in a lot of our games, just finding the right pitches. I got, a lot of quality hitters, on our team, in our lineup. These kids work really hard, not just in practice, but they work year round. They really put the time in. And, I just kept trying to stress to them, like, it's not your swing, it's not your timing, it's just what you're choosing to swing at. You got to get patient, you got to be selective, know what you're up there looking for. And once we, kind of let the adrenaline wear off a little bit and focus on that, we become much better hitters.
Yeah, and then, you play Bergen Tech, and conventional wisdom thinks, oh my God, dodge the IHA, you get Bergen Tech, this is a game we should win. And then, same thing, Casey Calabrese, the Bergen Tech pitcher, keeps you totally off balance early on. But your freshman pitcher, Reagan Germano, pitched great in that game and really kept it in until you could kind of get your legs underneath.
Yeah, Calabrese was really tough for us to figure out. She had our number early on. We were really off balance. We weren't. I don't think, we were more going in, feeding into her game plan than our own, and it took a while. It took probably 2 times through the order before we adjusted and were able to, make some better choices and swing at some better pitches and, put a couple things together to put some runs across. But, that team was outstanding. When you saw them play that day at Overpeck, you could understand why they were able to break through with the win over IHA. They're another, tough team.
Then you head to the semis, you get Indian Hills, and, this is kind of a reverse loss because instead of coming on late, really, jumped out and set the tone.
Yeah, we jumped out on that game, to an early lead and kind of never looked back. And, I think that was just a game that overall the kids were really pumped up for. We lost to them on opening day by 1 run, and we weren't necessarily at our best on April 1st when we lost to them. And I think, the kids had that in the back of their minds, and you came into that game saying, we're going to play Indian Hills a lot better than we did the first time. And that helped us, having that little bit of history on our side.
And then heading into the final, 2-time defending champ.
Well, Richie, though, before the final, and then it's, the replay against Indian Hills, which could, which was in the midst of all the, brilliance, was one bad inning that cost you a state tournament run, so you had to... Go ahead. Sorry.
I was going to ask the reporters a question. Was Rich Barton at that game? That's all I'm saying.
You know what? Great point. Hashtag good luck, Joe. If Evan Baumgarten is listening to this, we're going to need T-shirts. We're going to need hashtag good luck charm T-shirts in dark blue and Vegas gold, I believe is the official color of the Old Japan Fighting Golden Knights. But so, Melissa, that disappointment to rally knowing that you have 2-time defending champion Ramsey waiting for you in a county final. It could have been complete demoralization. Instead, it seemed like it was the impetus for you guys to push forward a little bit.
It took the couple of days that we had to kind of get there, though. It really was a terrible loss for us, and I don't mean that to sound disrespectful to Indian Hills. They didn't roll over. They used their bottom half of the 7th, and they beat us fair and square. They got pounded out a couple of hits, a couple home runs. You blink, and the game was over, and they earned it. Yeah, you're cruising with a 6-1 lead into the 7th. You're just not thinking that that's going to happen, and that's just a credit to their coaches and their kids over there. That bus ride was pretty quiet, and the next day of practice we were really down. It was tough, and we just had to regroup now, knowing we had one game and one game only to focus on. I have not been in that predicament where we were alive in the counties and out of the states. It's the first time, as a softball coach that I've experienced that. So it was new territory for all of us.
And when was, you won a section a couple years ago when Julie Rodriguez was a senior. Is that right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, in 2017.
Okay, so some of these sophomores were a part of that, and then they, so they had made a state tournament run, and now they're making a. Go ahead, Richie B. Pick it back up.
What I was going to say is really the key is senior leadership, because no matter what, that's going to be an emotional loss. But knowing that you still have one game left to get, like for those seniors, that it was a meaningful game, that was a county final. I think that once they got over the initial shock, it kind of galvanized us. Like, all right, let's put everything we have into this one game, and no matter what, we're going to give the energy. We're going to have fun, and no matter what, we're not going to stop playing. We're going to keep playing hard, and you had to do that. You had to get off the deck 3 times. You had 3 deficits, and just clawed your way to get out of all of them.
Yeah, the seniors were outstanding, and it's something, that we reminded them, in the latter half of the season. My longtime assistant coach, Matt Doherty, I think he was the first one to kind of plant the seed. We, maybe had a tough, regular season loss later in the season, and he kind of brought the calendar up to the seniors in particular and said, guys, you got 4 weeks, 3 weeks, whatever it was left in your high school careers. Like, just reminding them that this is it, and I think, that reminder that, we needled them with when we needed to kind of, kept their eyes, open and really focused on, we're going to give everything, all we got these last couple of weeks. And yeah, that's what helped us as much as anything going into Saturday. They knew it was their last game. On Friday, they knew it was their last practice, no matter what, So there was a sense of urgency there.
Yeah, no doubt about it. And you had, between Fairfield and Megan Weiss, shortstop Rebecca Clyde, Gabby Ramundo, and Wright, who had a great county tournament, and the person who probably had the best county tournament of all, Cynthia Gordon. I mean, it seemed whenever you needed something, those players just rise to the occasion.
Absolutely, and Corey mentioned that a lot of those kids were on that team 2 years ago, so I think that experience, being in a big game on the big stage served them well. And yeah, I mean the leadership, Gabby's big home run there. Cynthia coming up with the big RBI for the go-ahead run. I think it was in the seventh. And then, just what she's done behind the plate for us, that sometimes goes unnoticed. Everybody kind of notices the offensive side. These kids came up big in the right spots, and, we were really, really fortunate. Well,
she's a Northville girl. So, they're tough. Inherently tough, those kids, for sure. But, Melissa, it is crazy, though, when you think about, 2 years ago I mentioned Julie Rodriguez. She graduated. Now she's playing in the Women's College World Series in Oklahoma City. I mean, it's the best player to ever come through the program, like a once-in-a-generation type player. And, and you won a section title with her, and... But now, for when you came into this season, when and I know because of my daughter Hope that, you did the captain's practices on Oak Tree Road there in the middle of the winter at night, and the kids are going there. Could you have thought that this was going to happen with this team? I mean, maybe you did. I don't know. I don't know if it ever came to my mind.
It's real hard to predict. You have high hopes, as I think every team starts off, like setting goals, and you have aspirations and such. But as the season went along, I mean, we were 6-6 in our division of the Big North. We were in third or fourth place in our league. Yeah, it's extremely tough division. So you kind of get a little down on yourself, like, oh, all right, these teams X, Y, and Z are better than us. They've beaten us or whatever. But the kids didn't, let that define them. We did have, some tight games and maybe, came up on the losing end in a couple of those, league matchups. But again, I think it also prepared us. Like, we're playing with some of the top teams around the county every day. Yep. Let's see what we could do against Bergen Tech or Ramsey, somebody that we hadn't seen. We were ready.
Does it, obviously winning a section title is awesome, but winning a Bergen County title in softball where so many teams, it's just chock full of good teams. I mean,
and so few teams have done it. I mean, it's been IHA, Indian Hills, Ramsey, it's been an exclusive club to win a Bergen County championship and for you guys to break through.
Yeah, especially for the last 20 years, there have been a select few teams at the top, and I think we've been in that next level conversation of maybe making a little noise and knocking on the door, I'm still a little bit in shock in terms of did that really happen, because it's just something we've dreamt about and we've been working towards as a coaching staff, and we've had a lot of kids that have, worked so hard towards it and, never broke through. And, to finally get there that, for the first time, it's just been an incredible experience.
And how about for you? You've done it on the volleyball side. I mean, you've won the Tournament of Champions undefeated season. But, I don't know if every time you've won a state championship you've been the favorite, but you've built that program to the point where Old Japan's going to just show up and hammer somebody. How about from a how about from the softball standpoint? And I'm sure you've been doing this just as long as you've been doing that to get that experience of making the ultimate county run. It was so big, in fact, that your assistant coach that you mentioned over there, Coach Doherty, I think he even actually showed some emotion. That's how big it was.
That was real emotional. As long as I've been the head coach, he's been by my side, and we've had a lot of heartbreak losses over the years where you get a little you get burnt enough times, you start feeling like that other shoe's going to drop every time, and then it happened to us last Monday, and just to like break through and have it go your way and play the game that we did. I mean, I can't even describe it. We're really just still so just ecstatic that, that this happened for us, and that, we were just in the right place in the right time with the right group of kids. And, it's been amazing.
And I think if you had lost the county final, it would have really sucked that you were out of the states. But being that you won, of course, I'm sure you'd, like to be practicing today and playing tomorrow. But, the fact that you won and that, there's only one other team there's only going to be one other team in the state that ends its season on a win, and that's a Tournament of Champions winner. So, you got to, you knew it was your last shot. You did it. You won. And then you got to, really, really enjoy it without saying, hey, girls, you have to put this away because we got a state sectional semifinal, in a day or two.
No, yeah, and that's what was, pretty cool about this whole experience, and just, the way in the spring, I'm not sure this happens in the winter or the fall seasons, how the counties and states do overlap. My experience as a fall coach is counties are over, the states start the following week, so you kind of have the chapters of your season, whereas, counties and states are going to overlap in the spring because it's a little more condensed. So this was a very unique situation for us, and it just made it special, like you said, to end on a win, on a high note, on a historic victory for your program. It's been great.
Yeah, cool. Richie B, anything else?
What else is there to say?
Well, other than we just expect her to do it again next year. I mean, that's all.
now all you gotta do is repeat. You'll be set.
Right. Melissa
Landeck. As long as Rich Barton's there, we got a shot, right?
Yeah,
yeah, that's what we're talking about, Landeck.
That's what I said, too. Rich Barton is shot. That is what I said, what I always say. But, Melissa Landeck, the head coach of the Northern Valley Old Tapan softball program. I mean, really, congratulations. Unbelievable. I don't want to say out of nowhere because, I know those kids and the time and the effort that they did put into it. So it's not like this was not a deserving group of kids who just got, hot at the right time of the season. They did put in the work, as you said, and everything, too. But really fun to watch.
Absolutely. And it was, there were some big-time plays in that game. I mean, that first inning alone could have been, a real ugly. Ramsey came out on fire, and, Meg Weiss comes up with a huge play, throwing somebody out from dead center field, and then Cynthia Gordon fires down a third on the trail runner, and we get 2 outs and get off the field, only 1-0. I think that was a statement play that said, we're here to play, we're here to win.
Richie B wrote eloquently. I was just going to say the 825 double play. Check it out on NorthJerseySports.com. All right, Melissa. Now the last thing we'd like you to do is go back to the old format of you mentioned the fall season. Go back to the old volleyball tournament format so we can again begin to cover the Bergen County tournament. When you had a midweek, it was great. Then you moved it to the Saturday, where every other soccer game, football game, girls soccer, boys soccer, put it right in the fray, and we lost our way with the Bergen County volleyball tournament. Put it back.
Was NorthJerseySports.com at a volleyball game last fall?
J.C. Baumüller was at a couple, so but okay. really a bad job.
And we love J.C.
Yeah, but there's no way around it. It was bad. But we asked you to change the format back, and then Richie and I will get back on our midweek talk to Diane for us.
It's tough because the leagues have stretched out the schedule, and just got really difficult for programs to be moving games that were going to decide a league title, and then have county games midweek during those same weeks. So the coaches wanted them moved to the weekends. So that's what we were dealing with there.
Yeah, but I think Richie and I take precedence. He's a hashtag. So
I agree.
Well, I'll ask the volleyball coaches to take it under advisement.
All right, that's all we can ask. Melissa Landay, congratulations again, and we'll see you in the fall. We promise.
Sounds good. Thank you, guys.
All right, Richie B. We just had the head coach of the Bergen County Championship softball program on. We have previewed the state sectional finals. There is not much left to the 2018-2019 high school sports season, Richie B. The light at the end of the tunnel is staring us in the face, so I think there's nothing left for us to do but really just finish strong here, make our kick to the finish line.
Yeah, softball.
Follow the leader.